Welcome to the Epic Dad Show. This is your host, Fraser Cameron, and I'm coming to you with a little bit of a story of a conversation I had recently and what it prompted me to do. So I was chatting to an awesome Brit who had lived in New Zealand and was currently living in Australia. And he said that he'd listened to all of my podcasts, which really made me smile. But then he said there was a 2-month hiatus, and he wasn't too sure what had happened. So I just want to reassure everyone out there that it wasn't planned, but loved relaxing so much in Croatia and Italy. Changed routines, was going for swims at times that I was normally doing the podcast, that the podcast took a little bit of a back seat for a couple of months. So I figured that instead of doing something for the sake of doing it and interrupting relaxation time, I would fully embrace the getaway and then hit the ground running when I got back. That was interrupted slightly by an unfortunate incident with my laptop where it was dropped and the screen damaged. So it was away getting assessed for insurance repairs and various other things. So the simplicity of me posting my podcast and flicking them off to my podcast guy disappeared. So the regularity and the frequency of the podcast episodes was interrupted. And for that, I want to say sorry, and I want to say that things are changing. I have got so much to share with you. Had some amazing experiences in Europe. Had some amazing conversations with clients and potential clients yesterday with some interesting stories to share. So I want to get back on target with sharing those with you. So thank you for all of those of you that have listened to 1 episode, to 2 episodes, to 50, to I think we're up to 71 now. I think this is number 72 or it might be number 73. I'm truly grateful for the time and energy that you spend listening. And I really sincerely hope that they add value. And if there's any particular topic you want me to discuss, please reach out and suggest it. Please ask any questions. Please make any comments. More than happy to spend some time answering those via podcast episodes. So chatting to this particular guy was incredibly eye-opening. He was a guy that had a really fascinating background, successful sports person in the professional arena, then transitioned that into the corporate world, was also what I would consider very, very successful. And yet he didn't necessarily see it that way. And it's a really interesting way of looking at it because from the outside looking in, definitely successful. Successful as defined by conventional wisdom and status quo. Yet he didn't feel that way. He wasn't doing what he wanted to be doing. He didn't feel as though he was being particularly purposeful. He didn't feel as though he was purpose-driven. Had a whole bunch of awesome ideas, and they really are amazing, game-changing ideas that have never been acted upon. And I think there's so many people out there that feel exactly the same. So many people out there that, despite the fact that from the outside looking in, they're successful, they don't feel it, they want more, they're confused by what that more looks like, they feel guilty for wanting more because they live a pretty good life, a phenomenal life on world standards when you look across the globe. But yet that feeling never quite leaves them. And I feel that it's absolutely vital that we start listening to our intuition. We start listening to that instinct that's telling us that it's okay to want more. It's okay to not settle for living someone else's life. It's okay to not settle for what conventional wisdom and status quo urges us to accept and to conform to. In fact, I think it's absolutely vital for the health of society, for the growth of the globe, for our children's future, that we don't. If we feel our instinct and intuition pulling us elsewhere, we need to listen to that. We need to open up our minds. We need to open up our belief patterns. We need to open up our eyes to the opportunities that we can create. We live in a time like never before. Our parents and our fathers didn't have the same opportunities we had. It really was a traditional 9 to 5, almost a job for life, 1 or 2 jobs in a lifetime, generally very challenging, taxing, hard work, very draining. It meant that they had to compromise in other areas. But we live in a time where we are faced with an endless array of options, an endless list of choices. We can create our own outcomes. We can create our own lifestyles. We can create our own jobs, right, and businesses. Where there's a need, you can create a solution, and you're on the money. So whilst our parents weren't blessed with that same opportunity, we truly are. So for me, I feel as though we should want to take that with both hands. We should want to take action on it, because it was an opportunity that's been generated by the hard work and the sacrifice of our parents. And if we don't take advantage of it, then we are ultimately making that compromise and sacrifice wasted to some extent. And I feel as though we need to take action on that. So if you're out there and you're feeling as though there's something more, you're feeling as though that fulfillment is elusive and that you have success, but you want more, but you feel as though there's more out there for you, embrace it. Listen to that inner voice. Listen to the podcasts that help you get in touch with that. Listen to the people that have themselves listened to it and taken action on it. Get inspiration from it, but start taking purposeful action. Define what your purpose is. Define what it is you truly want. Not what you think you should have, or not what you do have, or not what society tells you to have, or not what your wider family and friends tell you to have, but what it is you want. When you get clear on that, you get to create massive traction. And I had a conversation with a client last night, and after a number of years, he's been searching for his purpose. And we started working together 8-9 weeks ago, and he had a massive epiphany 48 hours ago when he had crystal clear clarity around what his purpose was and how it fits in with all that he does. And in his words, he said, it's really exciting, but it scares the shit out of him. And this is from a very softly spoken man. So it blew me away when he said this. But a really, really spot-on purpose will excite and scare you in equal measure, because it's that provides the motivation for purposeful action. So I strongly urge you to get clear on your purpose so you too can take purposeful action and create epic change. And if you want to know how to do that, please tune in. I'm going to be having some more masterclasses after the enjoyment of the first one that was held yesterday, but I really want to help you get clear on that, because it really is the difference maker from the ability to be able to leap from success to fulfillment. So on that note, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go for a swim at the beach with my wife and then pick up the kids from school, but I hope you're having a truly epic day, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. So from the Epic Dad Show, this is a goodbye for today, and we will chat again very soon. Au revoir.